author, ALS advocate, film producer, and talk show host. I'm here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Stacey Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am Stacey Thomas, on Instagram, Stacey Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hello. Thank you for coming back and watching the Stacey Thomas Show. Once again, I feel like I'm always being blessed with my guests. And by the way, I feel like I'm being a bridge to bless someone else by my blessing coming on the show, right? And tonight we have an amazing guest coming on, and her name is LaWanna Bradford. Very, very interesting woman. After the interview, I'm sure you will want to follow her, and she has a gift for you guys. So let's bring her on. Hello.
Hello, Stacey. How is it going?
It's going good. You know what? Well, first, let me say thank you for coming on my platform.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is an honor. I'm excited to do part 2 of our earlier conversation.
Yes, you were so interesting. Oh my goodness. And from the first time, I said, you know what? I've got to start following her. And I would see one thing, and then I'd see another thing. And then the next time I go on your page, I'd see another thing. I said, let me just go ahead and Google her. Let's see if she's really real like this. And I was just like, oh my God, she's amazing. And something I want to say to you, I am sorry for your loss. I saw your pictures. I saw the love. And for anybody that's watching, please tell me, how are you still standing and doing everything?
But through the grace of God and just hearing my dad's voice, in my ears every single day. He's been my inspiration and still continues to inspire me.
And it's that smile, like in the pictures that I saw, and the smile that you have on your face now. The grace of God. I saw in your bio, you wrote, you believe that we are all gifted with divine genius, and the time is now to be the change we wish to see in the world. Strong words. What made you write that?
I think because throughout my life, I was blessed that my dad has always been my mentor, my coach and friend. And he came from just crazy humble beginnings. So from literally a community of 250, and became a man of influence around the world, ended up speaking 4 languages fluently. And I looked at his life, and I just really, I started to study my dad, and I thought, here's someone who came from, again, 250 community. He was born in 1930 as an African-American man in this country. So you know what was going on then. And he was an orphan. He lost his mother at 2 years old, his father at 10. He was raised by a stepmother. And yes, the word wicked stepmothers do exist. He was abused physically, horribly. He had every reason to give up on life, every reason to be beat down and believe that as a Black man who didn't have anything around him to lift him up, that he could amount to nothing. But somehow within him, and this is where I said divine genius, God was bubbling up his truth of who he was and what he was created to be. And he just walked in it. He told me, he said, I just had a sense of knowing that there was more for me. It wasn't that I saw more around me. I just believed it, and he just started walking in it. And so that's where that message really comes from, is his life and realizing that we can come up with excuses, Stacey, as to why we're not doing certain things, right? We can blame mom, dad, situations we were born in. But if we are people of faith and we believe that we were divinely created by the most excellent of beings, come on. stop playing small, rise up, tap into that genius, and be the change and make a difference, because we just have this appointed time in life to show up as we were designed to do. And so I could go on and on about that because I get real passionate about it, but that's where it came from. And I truly live it and believe it every single day.
And you said 1935 was his birth?
1930. He was born in 1930.
1930. 4 languages?
Yes, he spoke French, Italian, English, and German fluently.
I know it was God. I know the interview isn't about him, but see,
it's okay.
How? Well, I know with God anything's possible, but how did he do so much? 4 languages?
He joined the military at 17. He graduated from high school. And remember, I said community of 250. He had to ride a train from Mayview, Missouri. He had to ride a train to another town called Higginsville to go to high school. He had a whopping 2 people in his high school class, him and another girl. When he got out, he said, well, I can do what everyone typically does in this community and go and be a farmer, or I can do something different. I think I want to be a soldier. And he said, ever since he was a little boy, he always wanted to be a soldier. So he joined the military. And from there, his first assignment was in Germany. And that's where he picked up German. And then from there, he went to France. He served in both the Korean War and Vietnam War. So he spoke a little bit of those languages, but his fluency was in the 4 languages I spoke about. And then he actually went and trained at the Language Institute in California and spent 6 years in Italy.
To grow up in a household with a man like that. Oh my goodness.
And I just gotta share this. If anyone knows anything about Black history or military history, my father was one of the last remaining Buffalo Soldiers. So I'm just so proud to share that about my dad.
Really? He was amazing. You need to write a book about him.
I actually am. My dad and I started writing his memoir during COVID, and we did it as a video journal, which is, I'm so blessed to have that, because I now have over 40 hours of footage of my dad talking to me, telling me his story in his words. And I wanted to publish it while he was still alive. And he said, no. He said, and I'm like, why not? He said, because you have to wait and write the final chapter. At that time, Stacy, it's not processing what he meant until last month. And I'm like, I get it now. So my goal is to actually have it published by, maybe sooner, but definitely by Father's Day 2025.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Oh my God. Wow. So you are a business strategist and financial analyst.
Yes.
I thought that was it. There's much more. So I'd like to touch on that. For those of us who don't know what a brand strategist is and financial analyst, could you enlighten us, please?
Sure. So it's a business strategist. So what a business strategist is able to do is look at all the connecting parts of a business and take a business from where it is to where it says it wants to be. So, for example, I've worked with major corporations. So they bring me in to say, LaWanna, perhaps we want to go into these new markets, or we're looking to increase our bottom line. Well, how do we do that? So we roadmap it, but first we have to figure out, where do you want to go? What industry do you want to tap into? What are other people doing around your industry? Now let's develop a plan of action to get there. But the key thing, and this is what cripples a lot of small business owners, Stacy, is you got to assess what risks are going to be there before you even start moving. Because once you assess the risk, then it's like, okay, if problem A comes up, I already had a plan of action to mitigate that risk, right? Put those corrective actions in place, which will give me a greater likelihood of success. And so that's what I do for big business. And I realize if companies were really willing to pay me that much money, I wanted to take that and tailor it down for your small business owners, because the small business owners are actually the economic engine of this country. It's not big business, it's small business. But most small business owners, they can't afford to pay tens of thousands of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring in your larger consulting firms. But I can teach you how to fish.
You can teach us how to fish.
So
Oh,
that's
wow.
what I do. I'm looking for fishermen and women who want to learn how to become expert deep sea fishers,
Deep
and
sea
how to
fish.
find the blue waters, not red waters, because red waters is where everybody else is swimming in. You want to find your blue water so you can be unique, and people will lean in because they're like, whoa, we can now see you because you're not battling it with everyone else for the same one little piece of chum, right?
Yes,
You've established your area, your place of dominion. So that's what I do, and that's what I teach, and that's what I coach. I coach, and really I'm a consultant. So my goal is to come in, Stacy, and again show you how to fish. Because if I create a dependency on me, yeah, that's good for my pocket, but that's not good for you.
So, when companies come to you, are there certain key elements you have to see ahead of time before you take them on?
Well, yeah, typically when it's a major, so are we talking big business or small business?
Well, we can touch on both if you want.
Okay, if it's big business, typically they'll come out with a proposal. So they come up with what the scope of work is that they want to do. So let's say if they're saying, I need a strategic plan for health equity. I'll just make that up. Okay, well then I have to understand what's the scope of work, what's the timeline, how many people will I need to have on task, what involvement will their staff be in the process? Is it all me? Do they have some current work or research or historical data that I can use and pull in to help me? Or am I having to start from ground zero and do the environmental scans, the market scans, the customer research, and all of that? The more I do, the more the price goes up, right?
Right.
But for small business, I want to find out, what problem are you trying to solve? Where's your hiccup at? And I sit down and we dig deep, and because I tell them we have to unpackage you, and it may not feel very good, but if you're true to the unpackaging, then we can find the steps that you need in order to move forward to obtain the success that you want. But if you're not willing to be true to yourself, it's like garbage in, garbage out. Let's not waste your time. Let's not waste my time.
Wow. And is this something you just do within your state, or are you traveling to assist people?
I'm global.
You're global. Okay. You're in the deep sea.
I'm the deep sea.
Okay. So, did this come before what really caught my attention? The mortgage company.
Yes.
This came before the mortgage company. So where did the idea come? If you're so busy helping everybody else, where did the idea come for you to create a mortgage company?
That came about because my mortgage company is called the Bradford Group, and it was started by my brother. The Bradford Group is my name, and or our name. And when I left corporate, I wanted to do something different, and I thought, maybe I can help you, because he wanted to put some compliance things in place. So I said, well, I can come on board and help you. Well, in doing so, I started to learn this new industry, because I'm a lifelong learner, and I thought, wow, this sounds really interesting. And I asked him, what would it take to be a part of the company? He told me, so I bought into the Bradford Group. It wasn't just, hey, it's my sis, come on in. It's like, no, this is business. And that's how I got in. And we started off on just the residential side. 2007, 2008, mortgage crisis happened, and we had to quickly pivot and reset. Otherwise, we were going to go the way of the dodo bird, just like so many of our other peers and big banks. We would have been out of business. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know, my brother decided, I can't do this. I got to take care of my family, do what's best. He bailed. I stood, and we're still standing 18 years later.
He started, he left. You're still there.
I'm still here.
You're a busy woman. You've got a busy mind. You got a lot going on. So, and we haven't even gotten to the rest of it. Do you sleep? Did
People
you go
ask
to
me that
bed
all the time.
early?
Yes, I do. My rest is very important.
You're
My
right.
my my personal time, my sanctuary time that I call it, is very important. I don't believe in burning the candle at both ends because you're going to burn out. So yes, I get my rest. I go to bed early, and I wake up between 4 and 4:30 every day, and then my day keeps going. And I have my breaks. I break for lunch every single day. I have a morning break where I may go and walk. I have an
Okay.
afternoon break. I stop and have a nice dinner. I'm not eating and working. And then I may finish up my night with some reading, planning for the next day. And then I'm in bed by 9:30.
I enjoy your walks. I enjoy your walks. Okay. So now let's go to, you've got 3 shows.
Yes,
Says the woman that says she sleeps and eat breakfast and walks.
I
Tell us about
do.
tell us about the shows.
Okay, I have three shows. One is called Power of the Pen. The second is Choose the Challenge, and the third is Business and Financial Raw Talk. And they all sit on E360 TV. And the first one, let me kind of do the middle one.
Okay.
How I got into this, even though I know this isn't a question, I think it's important for me to share, especially with your audience. When you're in your zone of genius, it's amazing what opportunities that you never even thought of knock on your door. So in 2020, the Women's History Month, the international theme was Choose to Challenge. And I said, I want to be a part of what they're doing globally. What can I do? And I thought, oh, I know, I will interview 5 women that happen to be the centennial of women's rights to vote in the United States. And I said, let me merge that in to talk about the challenges that they may have in raising their voice and fighting for rights and equity of women in their respective countries. And then I heard God say, well, that's fine, but I want you to interview 21 women from 5 countries. I was like, whoa. So I'm like, okay, let me see how I can do this. Because literally I thought of the idea and had 2 more weeks before the month was over. So I ended up interviewing 21 women from the US, UK, Bahamas, Canada, and Uganda. And someone from a TV network in Atlanta saw the shows on Facebook. I was airing them on Facebook and said, would you mind if we take the package and re-air them on our platform? I was like, sure, that's fine. Again, this is no money transaction. I thought, hey, if I can get this message out and share the different perspectives of women, why not? Well, then they came back and said, it was the ratings were a little bit higher than we anticipated. Would you be interested in having a long-term show called Choose to Challenge?
Look at God. You started out with a few and ended up with 21. Okay.
Right. And so I said, okay. My very first guest was George Floyd's uncle
Your
during
very
the
first
height
guest.
of the Black Lives Matter movement. So Choose to Challenge is a platform designed to challenge systems, mindsets, norms that prevent people and communities from being their best that they're supposed to be. I talk about everything from sex trafficking, pay inequity, to just mindset, our own, how we end up being limiting factors in our own life. And then from there, I'm an avid reader. So I thought, well, let me start doing some books. And that's how Power of the Pen was born. And Business and Financial Raw Talk is obviously a conversation about business and finances, but I wanted to take a different spin. I wanted to interview individuals who are challenging the way we do business today and are looking for innovative ways, because the success leaves clues. But if we do business the same way, then we can go the way of the railroad and be obsolete. So I want people who are forward thinkers, strategic thinkers, sort of futurists in their conversations. And that platform I was doing on Facebook. And the driving factor was focusing on women and the financial crisis facing women. People don't talk about that. It is pathetic what women in this country are facing from an income standpoint. And so I said, I need to start exposing this. Women need to feel comfortable talking about their money situations. And when you're comfortable, then you can find the resources and the strategies in order to elevate your game, because your future self is depending on you to do the right thing. But if you're lying to yourself, if you want to put on air so people think you got it together simply because you look good and you're driving a leased car and renting the place you live in, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, you're putting on air, wanting people to think you've arrived when you haven't. Let's stop the games. Let's get serious. Let's make a difference, because our children and their children's children are depending on it.
Bye bye Hulu. Hello, LaWanna Bradford's channel. Go ahead. I'm sorry. And would you do me a favor when this is over with? Will you please tag me or post it in the comments, the shows? They're weekly?
Yes, they're weekly. Power of the Pen is Sundays at 2 p.m. And the other two shows are 6 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday. So Choose the Challenge is on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and Business and Financial Raw Talk is 6 p.m. on Tuesday.
Okay. Congratulations on it all. You are just really, oh my goodness. And you said you sleep.
I do. You have to. I mean, it is humanly impossible.
Humanly impossible.
Yeah, unless you're trying to do drugs to keep you up and drugs to take you down. Sorry, I'm not trying to go out that way. So I self-regulate, and I'm disciplined.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very selfish about my health and well-being. Very, very selfish about that.
I always say, as a woman, I think I have the right to be selfish when it comes to me.
Yes,
I do. When it comes to taking care of me mentally and physically and emotionally.
Definitely. Yes.
So you're doing so much, but they all have a common denominator, I guess, in my eyes, from what I see. You're blessing others, you're educating people, you're helping people. You're helping people by providing them with the truth. What would you say is your main purpose, or is it that you have a couple of purposes?
My main purpose, I think through life as we evolve, our gifts and talents become stronger, but our purpose may start to shift as we become more empowered, right? It's like you may have a certain purpose as a child, but a child can only do so much. Okay. But then as someone with experience, you can do so much more. So now as an experienced person in this lane of giving and helping, my main purpose, Stacy, is to leave a legacy where I can help build sustainable communities. And how I do that is, again, by providing resources so people can build homes, can have businesses, brick and mortar businesses if they want, can leverage money out of that real estate investment in order to do other things, send their kids to school, have that dream vacation. And it's also to help teach people that when we're building sustainable community, it's about tapping into the legacy that you want to leave behind. We work for a reason. Most people who have children, it's like because you want to see a better life, a better world. And so that's my big why at this point in my life. It's like, and when it's all said and done, I want to know that I made a difference and that I truly mattered at this point in time in creation.
Wow. And we're going to take a moment because I want to tell all the viewers that not only are you blessing us with your presence and what you have to say, but you also have a gift for them. So would you like to tell? Well, I'll show it and then you can tell them about it.
Yes, so you are able to, for any viewers watching live or the replay, or just anyone in your community, I want to gift you with a free digital edition of my Business in Action magazine. This magazine is packed with information that can help you in your life journey, in your business journey. It is real time with what's happening within our economy, within our business lane, and it's free, and you get it for 12 months. Just because you know this wonderful woman who's sitting here who welcomed me on her platform. It's just my way of saying thank you. And it comes once a month. And as I said, it's no cost to you, and it's packed with great information. In fact, this is actually my hard copy version of it.
Okay.
And like this one, just to give you an example, this is talking about hiring a business coach, embracing authentic leadership, learn why values are essential for great leaders. Baking up a business empire. This is talking about a particular business, Candace Nelson, and she discusses her keys to business success. So that's what this is about. This one's how to make HR a true resource. So it's packed with really great information. And I said, whether you're a business owner, you might be working in corporate America, you can find information in here that I think will help you and maybe have you think about your life and your business in a different way.
And it's free.
It's free.
Why, thank you. So, are there any other materials that we need to know about that's out there that has the LaWanna Bradford name on it?
Well, if you go to my website, which I see you have below here, LaWannaBradford.com, you can click on the tab that says free resources, and you'll see some training material and other information that may benefit you.
Okay. So I've been so busy, like just impressed with everything you're doing. Is there anything that you need to let the viewers know that Stacy hasn't said?
Oh gosh, no. I mean, I've enjoyed this conversation. I just want to encourage people to believe in yourself, because you can't expect the world to stand up and applaud you if you choose to sideline yourself. Remember, the hardest thing to do in life is to make a decision. And once you make that decision, is be committed, tapped in, tuned in, sold out for you in your dream. And when you do that, I believe that that's when your vision and opportunity intersect, and then success is inevitable.
So you're coaching.
Yes.
So that's on your website also?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going around speaking?
Yes, I do speak.
Okay. And is there anything else that we should know? Should we need to bring LaWanna Bradford somewhere?
Well, one thing that I want to share, if I may share this story. So one
Yes.
of my coaches, about almost 2 years ago now, was challenging me. And he said, LaWanna, we see you, you've been in business for a long time. People know what you do, but they don't know who you are. And Stacy, I was a little offended by that. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you know who I am. We've been together for, 16 years. He said, do I? Are you going to leave that to chance? Are you going to assume people know? Or are you going to control the narrative about who you are? And I had to sit in that. And it really bugged me, because I thought, look at all the things that my company has done, or the Bradford Group Consulting has done. He said, again, that's the company. Who are you? Who's LaWanna Bradford? And I thought, wow, he's right, because I'm very private. And so I thought, well, the only way I'm going to get out this message is I got to start speaking. And I have to speak in a way that comes from a point of transparency and vulnerability. I've been very blessed and very successful in life, but I have to be willing to tell people of the journey. And some parts of that journey was riddled with a lot of thorns, from, like I said, my brother leaving the business, almost losing everything financially during the 2007, 2008 crises, getting divorced during that time, being sued by Chase Bank, but winning, and then being hit with cancer. I had to weave that into the story so that people know why the Bradford Group and the consulting arm exists. Everything I've gone through has been the fire that makes me want to help people wake up and realize life is happening now. You've got this one life. Live on fire, live with passion, live with purpose. Let's together make a difference so that the world will be a better place for generations and generations to come.
Okay.
And through that, I developed a program called the R3. And the R3 stands for refocus, reframe, and reconnect. And I take people through those lanes and what it means, whether it's in your personal life or your business life. And the exciting thing about this, Stacy, is I want to tell people if your coach or mentor challenges you, lean into it. It's not going to feel comfortable. It may make you mad because I was mad. Lean into it because there's a blessing on the other side. After I did that, I received the Next Gen Entrepreneur of the Year. I received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award of the Year for 2023. I was featured at Michigan State University as part of the Leadership Experience Tour, where I debuted the R3 system. And then one of the biggest platforms was in February of this year, where I went to the Super Bowl Media Week and spoke with numerous media outlets and athletes about my R3 system. That's because I dared to get out of my own way, shut up, and listen to someone who could help, who could lead me down the path I was intended to go.
So I've got a couple more things now that I have to ask. Tell us, how important is a coach? Because some people, oh, I don't want a coach, blah, blah, blah. A coach is important?
It's very important. Like I said, my father was my coach and mentor my whole life. And you can't see the picture from inside the frame. You need another set of eyes, because we can talk ourselves, we can boast ourselves up beyond where we actually are, right? I'm so good. There's no one who can beat me. It's like, but have you seen you play? You know, you think about the great athletes. They're not great because they did it on their own. They had coaches in different lanes. They may have had a fitness coach, you know, a weight coach, one that helps them with their technique, one that deals with mindset, nutrition. All of these people are guiding them because, again, you cannot see from inside the frame. No one great did it solo. No one.
Wow. And I'm glad your coach told you that we needed to see you, that we needed to hear you. I went to a conference a few years ago and a lady said, how dare you have a story that could bless someone else and keep it to yourself? I'm glad you told your story. Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was at work, and I'm glad you brought that up because you were interviewing someone on your show. And just when someone said we had cancer, I think the phone rang or I got distracted, but I said, does that mean Miss LaWanna had cancer? And I didn't go back. So you've beat cancer.
No, LaWanna has cancer.
You have cancer. You're
Yeah,
beating cancer.
what I have is a form of lymphoma.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is, it's a long word, but it's hypopigmented mycosis fungoides T-cell lymphoma. It's a very rare blood cancer. It's rare for it to hit African Americans. It's even more rare to hit a woman. And just to give you an idea, so I went to this big lymphoma conference. It was packed. And then they said, we're going to break it out because different cancers have their different types. And they broke everyone out to go to their respective rooms to learn more about clinical trials, et cetera. In this room of, I think there were about 1,500 people at this conference. I go into my room and there's 6 people in there. And I sat there and thought, oh my goodness. So there's no cure. You can't, what are you going to do? It attacks the skin first. You can't peel my skin off. And then it infiltrates the lymph nodes and stuff. But what has kept me going is I cried only one time. So people know your body and challenge the physicians, because when I notice something on my skin, because I don't have skin issues, my doctor told me, "Oh, LaWanna, that's what did she call it?" She goes, "That might be dermatitis or something, or maybe it's psoriasis." I'm like, I don't think so. And she goes, "Well, it's or eczema. It's one of those three." I went to the doctors. They said, they looked at me. They're like, "No, that's not what it is." They did a biopsy. They told me to come back. I come back. I went by myself, Stacy. I'm not thinking they're going to tell me anything. I walk in and I see the doctor, a nurse, and a radiologist. And I thought, oh my goodness. And they were like, "You have lymphoma." And I thought, my goodness, had I listened to my physician, I would have been rubbing this cream, wondering when things are going to get better. And I may not be here today, but something didn't feel right. That again, I respect the medical profession, but something just didn't feel right about just. And she accused me of being a hypochondriac. So what? Let me just add this. So what has kept me moving, and where I said I only cried one time? I talked to a friend of mine about it, and he had gone through some health care of his own, not cancer, but pretty critical. And he told me, he said, "Well, LaWanna, you only have one choice." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm trying to figure this out, and all of a sudden you're, Mr. Wise, Oracle, something." He said, "No, what I do know is you can choose to die living or to live dying. It's your choice." Right then, you talk about paradigm shift, energy shift. I said, "Well, God, I know none of us are getting out of here alive. We don't like to talk about our expiration date, but while I still have breath in this body, I'm living full out, unapologetically. This is me. Like it, love it. I don't care. If this is the way God chooses to have me make up my exit, I'm gonna be like my dad. I'm gonna be like that tube of toothpaste. There's not gonna be anything left, because I'm not leaving 1 ounce of LaWanna on the table."
Wow. It's not about me, but it's something you said. First of all, thank you for sharing what you're going through. Thank you for letting us know that it's rare among African Americans. Thank you for saying that you chose to live. My mother, these low percentages, please forgive me. Black people go to the doctor. Doctors assume what's wrong. We have to go to a second doctor. And those words rare, because we didn't know any Black people with Lou Gehrig's disease.
Mm.
How out of all the people, if it has to be an African American woman, how did it get to be my mother? How did it get to be you? I think blessings come out of storms. I think because you're bold and you're saying it out loud. Because there's so many African Americans that think we don't get this, we don't get that, because partially because of the media, they don't show us. We don't know where to get help. We don't know what this is. Thank you. And if you ever want to come back on this platform and talk about that, advocating and living, don't hesitate to say it.
Thank you.
Don't hesitate to say it. And the very thing you decided to do is what, when my mother passed, it did, my life shifted. The world wasn't the same anymore, but you're gonna live, Stacey, or you're gonna merely exist.
Mm.
It taught me. I found out, listen, and I don't mean to talk you to death. I found out the very thing I fear, I've got to go through it because my blessing is on the other side, because I have to live.
Yes.
And people don't get that. But when someone looks at you, when I look at you and you shared your story, oh my goodness, you've done something for me, something great, you know. I said to my girlfriend one time, maybe I need to go get tested. She says to me, why? So you can worry yourself to death? Ah. And now you're just like, I'm sorry, I just talking. I'm gonna
No,
let you go.
no, you're
But
fine.
I'm glad you shared that with us. I'm a very curious person. I'm gonna look that up, especially when you say it's rare. That's what people need to pay attention to, because when the doctors say it's rare, is it because it is rare, or is it because we don't get the type of medical help we need
I
because they
think
don't
I think
know
it's a
about it?
combination. I think first of all, I think you don't know what to look for. I mean, who would have known that I went to bed, I put lotion on, went to bed, woke up with a light spot on my arm, forearm. That was about the size of a silver dollar. It was not there before I went to sleep. So, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is this vitiligo? I didn't
Right.
know. I'm like, what is this? And that's what it was. That's how it starts to show up in patches on your body.
And is that when the skin is like a whole arm could be very light?
Hmm.
So people need to stop like diagnosing themselves and they think it's one thing, and
And it
we
could
need to
be
go to the
something.
doctor.
So it could be something totally different.
Wow. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, I've
You
enjoyed this. I didn't know how it was going to work. I'm like, okay, I'll just dance with
I
Stacy.
because I'm more of a conversationalist. Like I want you to be comfortable. I want to know about you. And I
That's okay.
figured I knew I was going to be blessed. Listen to me being selfish. I knew the viewers would be blessed, but I didn't know how blessed. And this has been a huge blessing. How can they follow you? Is that correct up on the screen?
Yes, they can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn by my name, LaWanna Bradford. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the LaWanna Bradford, or my website, lawannabradford.com. Pretty easy. I'm Googleable. You can find me.
And is there a certain time you do your walks? Because I think I want to have my tea or coffee during that time.
I do it early in the morning. Right, like right now, I'm doing it a little bit later because I'm now on the East Coast,
Okay.
and it's dark. So we're getting ready to roll back the time. So I'll
Okay.
be walking. It's about 6 o'clock, between six
Okay.
6:30 in the morning.
Thank you for blessing my platform with your presence.
Thank you so much
Truly.
for having me. This has been fun. I've enjoyed it. You're
Well,
you
thank
you're
you.
you're an amazing interviewer. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Well, so are you. So tell us again how to follow your three shows.
You can follow my shows on e360tv.com. You go to the Fresh Start channel, and I can put it on the Facebook
Okay.
link,
Okay.
and you can find it, or just follow me on my page on Facebook or LinkedIn, and they air there as well. I stream to Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay. And thank you for the year subscription, the free gift that you have for our viewers.
Oh,
And
you're welcome.
you take good care of yourself, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. You too. I look forward to staying connected with you.
Sure. I do too. I'll see you on your walks. Well, I'll
All
see
right.
you. You won't see me. Have a great one. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Once again, listen, it's not Stacy, it's God. Shows up, shows out, blesses this platform. Thank you for watching. Please follow Miss LaWanna Bradford. I'm going to post your free gift again. And remember, don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow, because if we do, we'll miss living today. Have a great night.